Hey everyone, good morning and good evening. Okay, let's start with today's session and let's see what exactly we're doing today. Okay, so today we are starting with a new topic and a new tool called Terraform. Let me quickly share my screen. Before we jump on to this topic, let's understand why Terraform is important today, why this is an important tool to learn. Secondly, like we have already done ARM template, why there is a need for Terraform over here. Okay. So ARM, Terraform, CloudFormation, these are all infra as a code tool, correct? So one of the tool we have already learned, that is ARM templates. So now why Terraform? So Terraform has its own importance, guys. Infra as a code tool, we all know that we make infra management, infra creation part of a CI/CD process. With infra as a code, your infrastructure creation becomes part of your automation, wherein your source code becomes part of your Git repository. You can easily do the versioning, you can easily collaborate, you can easily share your code with others if it becomes part of a Git repository. Okay. Now, after learning ARM, why there is a need of Terraform, let's understand that before we move on to the Terraform topic. Okay. Now, Terraform has its own importance. ARM template and all what we did, that was specific to Azure cloud. Okay, if you want working on Azure cloud, and if you're managing Azure cloud infrastructure, then ARM is more than sufficient for you to go and work. Same goes with CloudFormation. If you go with CloudFormation, then if you are working specific with Azure DevOps, AWS, then at that time CloudFormation will make more sense. But suppose you're working for some project wherein they're not sure that today if they're on AWS, tomorrow they might migrate on Azure, day after they might migrate on GCP, and post that they may go back to their own data center. If the company is working on hybrid cloud environment, wherein they have partial on AWS, Azure, and something on their own data center also. In such cases, ARM and cloud formation, all these template process will not work. That will not make any sense. In such, if you have such a requirement, then Terraform comes in picture. So basically, Terraform is a hybrid infra as a code tool. Okay, so it can work on AWS with minor changes, can work on Azure. You can also make the same template you used on other cloud providers. So there are minor changes which you need to do, syntax change which you need to do. Post that, you can easily migrate your existing template to other cloud providers. So yeah, Terraform is a hybrid infra as a cloud tool. This was basically built by HashiCorp language. It's an open source free tool, guys. Okay, there are enterprise version of Terraform also which you can take, but yeah, mostly if you ask me, it's an open source free tool what we have in the market right now, which we will be using. Very easy to install, very easy to start with. So today we'll see how the installation happens, how we can set up Terraform on Windows. Second, we'll see the flow, uh, what exactly the Terraform flow is. Thirdly, we'll start with a very simple Terraform configuration and we'll see how the configuration works. Okay, let's go in and look into what is Terraform. As I said, Terraform is a HashiCorp. Terraform is an infra as a code tool that lets you define both cloud and on-prem resources in a human readable configuration file that can be versioned, reused, and shared. So Terraform uses HashiCorp language, guys. It's a very simple, straightforward, easy to understand language. Nothing alien over here, not like Java, JavaScript and things, C++ and it's very easy. By going through the Terraform configuration, you will come to know what exactly it's getting created. Okay, so that is how this language is all about, very easy to understand. Through Terraform workflow, we can easily provision, manage all your infrastructure throughout its life cycle. So I'll show you the workflow, what exactly the workflow is. Post that we can understand easily how exactly Terraform manages your complete infrastructure. Though Terraform, we can manage low-level components like compute, storage, networking resources, as well as high-level components like DNS entry, SaaS features. So Terraform can manage entire infra creation, even CDN and all can be created using Terraform, guys. So it can create all the resources, whatever resources you want to create. The only thing is it should be supported by the cloud providers. Okay. This is a small workflow which we will understand. So let me just give an high overview. This is something we'll understand in great details. So you being the practitioner, you write the code, you plan, apply, then there are set of providers. Using the provider, using API, you go and create your resources. This is generic, guys. Don't worry, I'll be covering this workflow in a great details. This is just a generic flow which I'm showing over here right now, taken in from HashiCorp website. Okay, now what was a traditional way of creating infrastructure and what was the challenges faced? That is something we'll see over here. So in traditional, what was happening? The business team was giving requirement to the business analyst. The business analyst was giving requirement to the solution architect. The solution architect basically was designing the architect, like how the infra will be created, what all things will be added, how the flow will happen, and all this requirement was given to the infrastructure team. Now, infrastructure team is not a small team. We got system admin teams, we got storage admin team, backup admin team, network admin team. It was a huge team. It consists of infrastructure team. So the requirement was given to the solution architect, gave requirement to the infra team. Now the infra team takes its own sweet time to develop and create whatever the infrastructure was requested. So this they could have been created on either on Azure or AWS or any other platform or any other data center. Okay, so they went ahead and they, based on the requirement, they went ahead and they created everything on cloud or own data center. So this is the traditional approach, how the flow happens. What was the issue with the traditional approach? Slow deployment, because you're dependent on some other team now for developing or creating infrastructure for you. It's definitely expensive because you need to procure all the components. Like if you're using on cloud, so you go and launch your EC2 instance, your VMs and things like that, and you're not even sure whether all the resources will be utilized or not. If you have your own data center, you're procuring all the hardware at the first place. Okay, setting up hardware, setting up the complete team for managing those hardware, it's always a expensive affair. Error prone because it's a manual intervention. People are developing, creating the infrastructure, configuring the VM by themselves. So definitely it's prone to error because we tend, being a human, we tend to make mistakes. Okay. Inconsistent infrastructure, yes, surely, because once you have created a dev environment, you handed the dev environment to the developer, they deploy it, they end up facing a number of issues, version mismatch, plugin missing. There are many mismatch what they get. So somehow you have created the dev environment. Again, when you're creating a QA, you're getting the same sort of issues. So the infrastructure is not consistent. They're getting inconsistent infrastructure use. Resource wastage, as I said, the complete infrastructure is not getting used. That is these are the things which we were facing with traditional prior this infra as a code tool. These were the things what we were facing. With infra as a code, all these issues are basically taken care. So infra as a code means managing your IT infrastructure using configuration files. What are the benefits of using configuration file? Cost reduction, increase in speed of deployment, less errors, improve infrastructure consistency, eliminating configuration drift. This is a very important point, eliminating configuration drift. If you have written the configuration once, and if that configuration is working for your application, there is no way that there will be any configuration drift, even though if you go from dev to QA to stage to production. Okay. Second, reusability. Once you have written, reuse your configuration multiple times. We have seen it in ARM, the same template we were using for multiple infrastructure, correct? We have deployed the same template for dev, QA, stage, production using variables, correct? The same thing, we can do it over here also. That is the feature of infra as a code. Some popular tools: Terraform, Ansible, Puppet. There are other tools also, guys, ARM, CloudFormation, and things like that. So these are some popular tools for infra creation, in which Terraform is mostly for infra creation. It is used for infra as a code tool. Ansible and Puppet are not infra as a code tool, guys. These are configuration management tool. We'll see Ansible, you'll understand Ansible, importance of Ansible in great detail. But Ansible can also create, it has a way of creating infrastructure, but that will not manage your infrastructure the way Terraform does it. So yeah, don't consider Ansible and Puppet in this list. But yeah, surely if someone asks which are the tools, so Terraform, ARM, CloudFormation, these are infra as a code tool. Okay, so this is what infra as a code tool is all about. Before we jump onto the workflow, I want to show you how do we set up Terraform. So we'll be setting up Terraform on Windows machine. Okay, so there are few prerequisites, guys. Some of the prerequisite we have already done it in my previous sessions, like installing Azure CLI. We already have CLI installed because we have used CLI for ARM template also. We have used VS Code. So I think everyone has VS Code editor already because we have used ARM template for this, and we all got Git client. Okay, because we have used Git client during the Git session. So the only thing we require is to install Terraform plugin, and we require HashiCorp Terraform plugin for VS Code. Okay, so let me show you again what all things this is. So this is how you will be installing your Terraform. Go to this link. I'll be sharing this note after this session. Go to this link. You will get a Terraform binary over here. Okay, so for all the OS, if you're using macOS, these are the command to download the plugin. For Windows, this is the one. Okay, so you can go with this AMD 64. Just download this binary, click on this. This is basically what it will do. It will get you the binary file system. Okay, so this is nothing but it's a plugin file. Let me show you how exactly the plugin looks like. So once you download the plugin, come in your C drive, create a folder called Terraform. See, the Terraform folder is over here, or you can create any other folder. The naming convention doesn't matter, guys. Like in my case, I've created an app folder over here. In app, I got a Terraform folder over here. Inside this, not over here, wait. Yeah, I got this Terraform folder and I got the Terraform binaries over here. Okay, so this is what the binary file will look like. It's a very pretty small file, 59.2 MB. So you have to, the first step is download this binary, get the binary unzipped into this C drive. Why I'm keeping things in C drive? Because all your applications should be there in the C drive. Hence, I'm keeping the things in the C drive. Okay. So once you have done with this, so for Mac and all, it's very straightforward, guys. All these things you don't need to do. For Mac, you just run this command and you will have your Terraform installed. Even Linux, these are the set of commands which you run and things are pretty much done. For Windows, once you download the binary, the second thing is we need to set up the path. What do I mean by set up path? You need to go to this PC, properties, you can go to advanced system settings. All these steps are written in the notepad, guys, don't worry. Come to this environment variables, come to this system variables. Make sure you're in the system variables, guys, not the user variables. In this, there is an option of path. Edit this, click new, and you can give the complete path where your binaries are. If you're not keeping the binaries in C drive, you're keeping it to some other drive, even that is fine. You just have to make sure that the right path is given away. For in my case, where my files are, it is in Terraform. I'll just copy this path. I'll put it over here. Okay. In my case, it's already there, guys. So I'm not doing it again. So that's it. And click OK, and you're done. So this is how you will be installing Terraform on your local. Once Terraform is installed, you can go and set the path. Once that all this is done, you can verify this by opening git bash. I'll be using git bash over here. Again, shell script for running all my Terraform configuration. You can open git bash and verify if Terraform is commands are working or not. Okay. How do we verify? Name it as Terraform version. Done. I'm getting an output. The Terraform 1.3.3 is installed. That means Terraform is working. Okay. There's one more command you need to run. Azure login. Easy login. This will definitely work because we have already set up AZ before. Okay. This is download the zip, unzip the package, create a new folder Terraform binaries, copy the terraform.exe to a Terraform binaries folder. You can name it as Terraform binaries or Terraform, whatever name you want to give. Set the path in the windows. Okay. Now AZ login, this is the command which I'm logging. If you have multiple account, then these two commands you need to run. If you have single account, then this is more than enough. Okay. Let me log in successfully. Done. I'm also logged in over here. I'll get an output over here in a bit. Error, no subscription found. I got some error, no subscription found. Let me do one thing. Let me log in using this link. Copy this link, put it over here. Use this flag, use device code in such issues. And then go to this link. Put this code. If there's an issue opening browser or if you get such issues, then this is what you need to do. No subscription found. What happened to my subscription? Okay, I have some issues with my account. It means authentication issue, additional information not authenticated. Great. Okay, guys, I have some issues with my account. That doesn't matter. It's okay. Let me switch to a different account. Okay, this one looks good. Let me verify if I have some. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, I'm using my different account. Let's do a easy login again. Okay, I'll use this account. Okay, perfect. Looks good. I'm logged in. Now, the other part is we need to open VS Code. The links and everything is given, guys, so don't worry. We'll have to open VS Code, and before I go and open VS Code, I'll like to create a new folder. I'll name it as Terraform Valaxy. Okay, and I'll go and open Visual Studio Code. The first thing in Terraform, you need to understand the Terraform workflow. Okay, before even we go and write any sort of configuration, we need to go and understand the Terraform workflow. Don't worry about the configuration, those are the things we'll do it. Understand how to write configuration in great details. But for now, we need to install Terraform workflow. So once you open the Visual Studio Code, there's a plugin which we require. Okay, basically plugin will help you avoid any syntax error. It will help you with all the, it will help you to write the configuration. It has inbuilt IntelliSense and many things, many feature it has it. So that is something we need to do it. So go to extensions, look for Terraform. Just look for Terraform at the top. Okay, now do you see this HashiCorp Terraform? This is an official plugin which I'm talking about, which will help you with syntax highlighting and auto completion for Terraform. Okay, so this is the plugin which you require. Install the plugin. Make sure to close the Visual Studio window and come back once the plugin is installed. In my case, it's already installed, so I don't need to go and install it again. So this is will help you with syntax highlighting and auto completion. And plus it also helps with the validation and formatting, guys. So make sure it has inbuilt IntelliSense, which will help you with if there's any error with your code what you're writing. Okay, so this is the plugin. It's very much required, and this is not from any third party, so you're getting it from the official provider, so there's no issue with this plugin. Not in your company they will say no to such plugins, because you're not using any third party plugin over here. Okay, coming back, I'll go back and open the folder which I've created, and I'll have all my configuration written inside this folder. Okay, so these are till now whatever we did, these are all prerequisite, guys. We have not done anything yet. So make sure these prerequisites are met before we start. Okay, so I've opened the folder now. Now Terraform, whatever files you create in Terraform, it has an extension .tf. Okay, like for example, I'm creating a file resource group. I'll be creating a resource group .tf. Okay, so this is how Terraform understand. Okay, this is a Terraform configuration, and then if you see at the right hand side, it has selected the Terraform language automatically. So .tf is the extension what you will require to run any Terraform configuration file. Okay, make sure remember that part. I already have some code written. I'll just copy paste that code for now. But once we understand the basic flow, I'll be explaining you what exactly this was, how exactly this was written, everything line by line. We'll rewrite this code again once we understand the workflow. Okay, now what is workflow? Let's go back to PPT. Terraform workflow is a very important part of your Terraform, guys. This is how Terraform works. So whenever you start with Terraform, the first thing is you write the configuration. Okay. So basically, you being the author, you author infrastructure as a code. So whatever you want to create, whatever infrastructure you want to create, you go and write that configuration. Okay. Terraform configuration files are stored with the .tf extension. That is something we have seen it. So this is something we have written the configuration right now. What exactly it is written, how exactly it is written, that is something we'll understand later. For now, this is how the configuration is written. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Then we go and run the command terraform init. Terraform init is very similar to git init. Remember when we wanted to initialize a local git repository, what we used to do, we'd run the command git init. What the git init was doing, it was initializing a local git directory for you. It was getting you all the required plugins. It was getting you all the required files which was needed to run your git. Correct? That is what was happening. Same goes over here. When you run the command terraform init, Terraform, what it will do, basically it will initialize a working directory and it will have the Terraform code in it. This code is known as providers. Now, what is provider? Provider, for now, it is just a plugin. This is the file which will help you to connect to cloud services. This provider file will help you to connect to cloud services through which you will be able to create and manage cloud infrastructure. So these are binaries, guys. These binaries basically helps you to connect to the cloud provider. Then using these binaries, you'll be able to connect to the cloud APIs, and through which you'll be able to connect to, in my case, Azure. It's the resource manager. Remember in ARM, we were connecting to the resource manager and the resource manager was managing all the resources for us. Same concept over here. Exactly same concept over here. Now we'll talk about this provider in my next, mostly tomorrow session in a great details, guys. But for today, provider, just keep in mind, provider is nothing but it's a plugin for you which will help you to connect to the cloud services. Okay. So that is what happens when you run the command init, terraform init. It creates a work directory and it will help you download all the required provider. In my case, it will go and download the Azure provider for me. Okay, let me go and run this command. So let me go to where I am right now. Okay, so I'll have to go inside my folder, that is tf Valaxy. Okay, well, let me do one thing. Let me have one more folder created inside this. So if we are creating a resource group, so let me name it as resource group, and let me move this file inside it. Why exactly I did? Because I'll have multiple providers downloaded, guys. So I want this to be placed inside specific folders. Okay, that's why I'm keeping it separately right now. Now I'll have to go inside that folder and then I'll run my terraform init command. So the scope of init will be only specific to this folder. It will not be outside that folder. So that is what I wanted, because I'll not have just one configuration. I'll have multiple configuration written, because we'll have a storage account created, then we'll create a web app. So there are multiple configuration what we will doing, guys. So hence I kept this. That's why I created a resource group folder. Inside that I have kept my configuration file. Okay. So I was talking about provider. So if I just run the command terraform init, this is the first command which you will run whenever you're starting with your Terraform configuration. Without this command, you cannot proceed further. You need to initialize your Terraform directory. Now, based on whatever we have written inside the configuration in the Terraform block, your provider is getting downloaded. This is what's happening right now. Okay. Now, what exactly the provider and all, don't confuse yourself right now. It is just a plugin. It is just a binary which will help you run all your Terraform commands, which will help you interact with the cloud services. Okay, just keep that in mind. for now, and we'll understand the complete Terraform workflow in the later session. Okay, let's wait while the provider is getting downloaded. Perfect. Now, once the provider gets downloaded, let me show you the folder, what exactly was downloaded. If you go to the resource group, there is a hidden file, Terraform hidden file which got created. Now this hidden file is visible because I have enabled the view option to view hidden files, guys. Now if I go back inside, there is a provider folder inside this. Inside this provider folder, this is the link from where the provider got downloaded. Registry.terraform.io. HashiCorp. Azure RM, because this is for Azure Cloud. The latest version of, yeah, am I audible to you all?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So I was saying, so this is how the folder structure of the provider gets created, guys. And if you go in it, this is where your provider is. This is nothing but it's a Terraform plugin which will help you connect to Azure Cloud Services. So this is the file which is very much required if you want to execute any Terraform configuration. This is again a prerequisite. Whenever you run the command terraform init, this is the plugin which get downloaded. Along with this plugin, there is a file got created. There is a .terraform.log.scl file. This is basically locking your Terraform provider version. Okay, now if I go and open this, this is the provider file. This is where where the provider got downloaded. The registry, I'll give you a walkthrough of this registry also in future session, what exactly this registry link is. Okay, this is the version which got downloaded, and this is the version which I have mentioned inside my configuration file. Okay, now if I go and show you, this is something I have mentioned inside this. What exactly is this? Don't worry, I'll give you a complete walkthrough. We'll rewrite this configuration again step by step, but for now, this is a log file which got created. It's inside this log file, it's clearly mentioned that whatever you have writing configuration, whatever configuration you have written, this is based on this provider, and these are some hashes value which is making sure that your communication is happening with the right source. You're downloading the providing from the right source. There's no third party or eavesdropping happening in between. Okay, so this is for authentication. Okay, this is a very important file, terraform.log.scl. Keep that in mind. It's locking your provider version basically. Okay, now that is what happens when you run the command terraform init. Let's go back to the PPT. Third, you can validate the syntax of the configuration file in a directory. Now this validate command will help you validate if whatever you have written, it is all perfect. There's no syntax issue. There's no other sort of issues with your configuration. So let's verify if we can run the validate command and see. So I'm inside the where exactly I am right now. I'm inside my resource group folder, guys. In this folder, I have my configuration. Okay, I can run the same thing from here also, guys. I can open the terminal. It will basically open in the same location. Let me switch to git bash. Delete this. I can even run the command over here. So it's one of the same thing, nothing different. Even this is a bash shell. Even this is a bash shell. I like this more because this is more faster, I believe. But it's up to you. See this validate. Terraform validate. Basically, it will look for any syntax error. If it will look for any incorrect syntax you have used, all those things what it will look for. See. Now there was no syntax error, that's why I got the message successful, the configuration is valid. But let me purposely go and make some syntax issue error. So what did I do? I went ahead and made some changes in my configuration file. Now let me go and let me run through this command only, guys. Let me run the command terraform validate now. Okay, now I got some error. It's a clear Terraform will give you the clear error, guys. What exactly error, which line the error is. So you will get a better understanding when you see through the error. You will have a better understanding where exactly you were wrong. If you see the error, missing require argument. So what is argument? I'll explain you later. But for now, there is a argument missing at the line number 18. If you go to line number 18, this is what the resource block is, and in this block there is an argument missing. The argument name is required. It is giving a clear error. The name argument is required, but no definition found. This means there is an argument which is required. That's the name which I have commented out. Okay, and which is not defined. So this is validate will give you a clear indication where exactly you are wrong. Hence Terraform validate. Okay, even with the if you write the command and if you miss any argument, you'll get a color coding because we're using Terraform's plugin in this case. So you'll get a color coding which will show you that there's some issues with your file. Okay, are we good till here? This is the third command in Terraform. After writing init validate, this is the third command. Now before I go back to the plan, there's one more command which is I have not mentioned the workflow. Terraform format. Okay, now format is basically if there's any formatting error you did in your Terraform configuration, it will automatically go and detect those formatting error and it will fix those errors for you. Okay, now for example, to show you demonstrate, let me make a format error. See, I made a format error over here. This is definitely incorrect now. Okay, now if I go and run the command terraform fmt, remember this command, it will go and fix the formatting issues for you automatically. Okay, the command is terraform fmt. This is not mentioned in my workflow, but this is definitely you should have it whenever you are running any Terraform configuration. Okay, now last but not the least, we got something called Terraform plan. Okay, Terraform plan is basically will give you a trailer like if you're launching a movie, it's like a trailer for you. So it's a preview before you go and deploy your application. Sorry, before you go and create your infrastructure, it will give you the complete preview what all things are getting created. So preview your changes before applying and even creates execution plan before applying. So it will basically give you the execution plan. The execution plan might change later when you make configuration change, but it will give you a better understanding of what infrastructure will be created. Okay. Now this is preview basically looks for two things. It will look for your current state. Where do I create? It will look for your current state. So this is basically it will look for your Terraform configuration, what you have written inside your configuration. Okay. So this is your this configuration what you have written. It is nothing but it is called as your desired state. What you are desiring to create. Then you got something called as current state. Current state is basically what exactly is already created. Like suppose you're creating a resource group. The resource group is already created. Okay, so this plan will basically go and check if the resource group is created or not. If the resource group is not created, it will give you a execution plan that the resource group will be created. That is the execution plan it will be giving you. Okay, that execution plan you have it. Okay, so then when you run the command apply is basically apply changes to reach the desired state. So whatever you have written inside your configuration, that's your desired state. That is what you desire, that you want to create that resources. Then after the apply, that desired state will be achieved. And in case if the resource is already created, that's a different way of handling things. That is something I'll talk about later. But for now, this is what desired state means, and this is what current state means. Current state is the currently if that resource is created on cloud. That is what current state is. Desired state, what you have written in your configuration, that this is what I want. In between you have a bridge of plan will go and check your current state and desired state. It will do the comparison. Based on that, it will give you the execution plan, what exactly will be created or what will be deleted or what will be modified. All this state information your plan will give you. Post that, you can run the apply. That's a final command which you execute. The apply command will make sure whatever you desire based on the plan, it will go and create those things for you. Okay, understood? Current state and desired state, guys. No confusion. Anyone has any confusion till now? No one? Perfect. So that is what current state and desired state is all about. Now in my current state, if you go and see on my cloud, let me see if I'm logged in. If I go and show you, there's no resource group right now, correct? There's nothing. So in my current state, there's nothing. There's no resource group created. So let's go and run the Terraform plan command, then we'll understand how exactly this plan works. Terraform plan command. Terraform plan is very similar to what if flag in ARM template. Remember we had what if wherein we were doing the preview, what resource was getting created. It's very similar to what if. Always do a comparison, like if you have learned two existing tool, always do a comparison what you were doing over there, what different we are doing over here. Then it will make more sense, guys. Okay, so Terraform plan, this is the output which I got. So basically what it is doing, execution plan is create. So this is called as execution plan. Okay, Terraform will perform the following action. What are the action? It will go and create this, will be created. So this is what is the name of my resource group. This is the plugin we are used. This ID will be known once the resource group is created. Location is East US. Name is my demo RG1. The plan says 1 to add, 0 change, 0 destroy. So this is when you executed the command Terraform plan, what it did the quick comparison with the current state and the desired state. Based on that, this is the plan which it has come up with, that this is the resource which is getting created, which will be created. Okay, same you can do with now. Once you have the plan, now you can go and run the command Terraform apply, which will basically run the plan again for you, the execution plan again. Because what will happen, just imagine you have run the plan, you have the preview. Now after that you made some changes to the configuration. Okay, or after that the resource was created manually by someone. So Terraform apply will run the plan again. It will give you the execution plan again. Then it will ask for your approval whether you want to proceed further or not. Based on that, the decision will be taken whether you wanted to proceed further or not. Now if you see this, the plan is already in place. Now it is asking for your value. Only yes will be accepted. Anything apart from yes, if you put it over here, your execution plan will get cancelled. Okay, now this is what it is. Okay, let me put yes. Now after putting yes, it will go and create the resource group for you on the cloud.
So if we want to decline this process, so we can't enter no.
You can see no is already accepted. Apart from yes, if you put anything else, 1 2 3 ABCD, it will automatically get cancelled. You have to be very specific if you want to approve it. Yes is the only keyword accepted over here. Okay. No also you can put, it's up to you. But apart from yes, you put anything else, it gets cancelled. It gets declined basically. So if you see, read the description, only yes will be accepted to approve. That means anything else apart from yes, nothing will be accepted. Now, if you see this, the resource was created, resource 1 added, 0 changed, 0 destroyed. Okay. Now, this was the final life cycle of Terraform. There's one more cycle which I'll explain you. But once this is created, you can verify quickly by going to your cloud provider, refresh this portal. Do you see my demo RG1? This is the resource group got created. By seeing this resource group, you'll not come to know whether this was created using Terraform, guys. So if anyone has any question whether how exactly we know if the resource group was created using Terraform, so that is, there is only one way of knowing, is by referring to a state file. Now this is a very important file which got created now, guys. TF state file. It is basically giving you the state information what Terraform is managing for you. Now whatever resources we have created using Terraform configuration, when you create it for the very first time, a state file gets created automatically. This is getting created on my local right now, on my local system. Now Terraform will be managing your things using this state file. Terraform, now Terraform what now three way of managing. Let me open up Paint. This is where you have written your TF configuration. This is your current state. Current state means on portal what resource you have created. Now in between you got one more file. This is dot state file. TF state. Now this file gets created at the first time when you were doing everything from scratch. There was no issue. Okay, it went ahead. This is also known as desired state, guys. Keep that in mind. This is what you desire to create. Now the first time when you created everything, it quickly did the check what you're desiring. Secondly, what it did, it verified with the current state and it created the resource on the cloud. So this is current state is nothing but your cloud also. Okay. Now this gave rise to this file, TF state file. Now TF state file now has all the information such as what was the resource created, when was the resource created, and all those information is there with it. So if you see Terraform version, the serial number output and the resource information. So what did we create? We have created a resource group. What is the name of the resource group? My demo RG. What was the provider we have used? This is the information, the ID, location, and the name. And this is the key, which is basically authenticated. This is the sensitive information, guys. So this is the key which we have used to create. Now this information is already there inside my state file now. Okay. Now henceforth, if you're making any changes to your configuration, like the resource group, if you're making any changes to your configuration and if you're applying it again, now it will go and check inside the state file what previously we have created. Is it the same thing we are doing it again, or is it something new? Then it will, based on that, it will go and alter the state file, and this state file will compare it now with the current state. This state file that, okay, we are adding some tags, like for example, I'll go to my I'm adding some extra information over here. Like let add tag as environment, name it as development. I just add it as development. Now this tag is nowhere present. This tag which I'm creating, do we have a tag over here? So there's no tag right now. If you see in my overview screen, there's no tag. The tag will be visible over here itself. Okay, there's no tagging. Now I have written in my configuration that I need, wait, there's a typo over here. Okay, so this is what state file does. Now I have mentioned some tag. If you see the tag in my state file, it's null. Okay, the tag in my state file is null right now, but now I have mentioned in my configuration that I need these tags. Now what it will do, it will go, when you run the command terraform apply, it will go and verify if there's any tag. Okay, now it will go and verify in my state file if there's any tags. It will verify. Then my state file will go and check if the current state, if the tag is present. Okay, if there's no present, then the plan will give you that the tag will be created. So now in between we got this mediator. After you run the first apply, you have this mediator. I think this is tags. Okay, okay, this is how this works. Understood, guys, how this mediator thing works? Anyone has any question?
Um, is are you missing a bracket in your resource group TFRs because it's showing as red?
Yeah, I might be have deleted something. Wait. Yeah, thank you. Good observation. Anyone has any question, guys? Over here. Okay, so let me go. We all know, correct? We are extending the sessions from today onwards for 1.5 hours, guys. That was communicated, correct? No one has issues with it because we are lacking very much behind right now. So that's why I thought of taking a session of 1.5 hours. Okay, so now this is, I've added additional tag. Now if I go and run the plan command again, always run the validate if there's any. So when we run the validate, if suppose the curly braces which I missed, in the validation it will automatically find out that you have missed something. Or if I run fmt, this will also do the formatting for me. Then if you want, you can run the command terraform plan. This will give you a preview. Now we already have this resource created. Now let's see what preview we get. Now what did I see? It will have a mediator in between. Terraform state file, it will go and check the state file now for the for the current state. Then it will go and give you the desired state information. Based on that, a plan will be created that this is what will be getting executed. Now let's see. Let's see what.
Can't hear.
Can you hear me now? Perfect. Okay. So after the command terraform plan, last time we got create, the execution plan as create. This is called as execution plan, guys. Last time we got as create. Now as of now we are seeing update in place. Why this is update in place? The reason is I'm making changes to an existing resource. It is going and checking my TF state file. It is checking what we have created already. Then it is giving you the plan. So this resource is already created. The only thing is I'm adding some additional information such as tag. Do you see this plus sign? This is something additional what we are doing right now. Now 0 to add, 1 to change, 0 to destroy. This is what this guy is doing. Update in place. So it is already verified with the TF state file. The TF state file has already stated the resource group is already present. The only thing is not present is the tag. That's something newly added. Okay, and it has went ahead and verified with the current state. Do we have this tag available in the current state? No, the tag is not there. Then it went ahead and giving you the execution plan. Okay, now if I go and run the command terraform apply, I've already seen the command. I've already seen the plan. I'm very much satisfied with the plan. So I don't want to approve it manually. So I can use the flag auto approve. So this will not prompt you for the yes and no now. This auto approve is very much required because when you run this Terraform configuration using CI/CD, you will not have any space to run yes. Okay, so this auto approve is a flag which we'll use in CI/CD also. Okay, let's see. Now this will go and add the tags for you guys. This TF state file is very important, guys. Very, very important. Based on this TF state file, your infrastructure gets managed. Keep that in mind. Without this state file, nothing will happen. See, it's not prompting me for auto approve again. After the auto approve flag, it's not prompting me for yes, no. It started the modification process. Now it's this time, if you see, it started the modification process and you have 0 resource added, 1 changed. This is update in place. So there are multiple execution plan. One we saw that is creation. Second, this is update in place. Third, I'll show you destroy. Okay, keep that in mind. Now one important thing got, like if you want to verify, you can see, refresh this page, you'll see the tag. Do you see the tag got created, name development over here? This is created. So one important file got created again after this was, let's go and see the TF state file first. In your state file, you can see the tag added. Okay, and along with it, there is a backup file got created. Terraform.tfstate.backup. Now, all thanks to Terraform, you made, because as I said, this state file is very important, guys. If you make any changes to the state file, the version or previous version gets created. This is the previous version gets created as a backup, which will not have the tag which you just added. And this is the current version. So Terraform thinks if you have done this by mistakenly, you can just delete this state file and rename this to Terraform state file and make it current. That is what Terraform does automatically from their end. Okay, so 3 important files today I talked about: log.scl file, tf state file, and Terraform tf state.backup file. Definitely interview question, and these are the important state file. Now how the state backup file gets created? It gets created automatically when you make any modification to your existing state file. When the state file gets created, when you run the Terraform execution plan for the very first time. When the log file gets created, when you run the Terraform init for the very first time. It locks the provider constant. Understood? 3 files. Okay. Now how the state file will behave if I make some changes directly manually. Okay, if I make the changes, like suppose I'm adding a environment test thing. And what I'm doing, I'm adding a tag manually. This resource is managed by Terraform currently. What will happen? And now I did some changes manually from my end. Now you guys tell me, if I run the command Terraform plan, what will happen? Just think of it and tell me. Try. It will get deleted. So the one which I've created manually, it will get deleted. That's right, Victoria?
Yeah. Because it
Perfect.
doesn't
Anyone?
know about it.
Perfect. Anyone else? It's Victoria, right? Guys, what do you think? No one? Josh, Ken, Nirupa, Prashant, what do you think? Will it be deleted or what will happen if I go and run the apply command from my local?
I
Just
think
the,
it will update the resource.
okay, let's see it. Okay, so I have added something manually right now. I have not informed my Terraform configuration that I have added something. Now let's see how Terraform behaves. I'm running the plan command again. So how Terraform works? It will look for the Terraform configuration what you have written. It will verify the state file. Then it will look for the current state. Based on that, it will give you the execution plan. Now, do you see? After those check, what Terraform has found out? Again, it's doing update in place. This time, what it is doing? It is removing this tag. Do you see this minus sign? It has found out there are some additional resource got added manually, which is not part of your state file. State file is not aware of such tags. One unchanged element. State file is not aware that there is some tags which is got added manually. Okay, now in such case, if I go and run the apply command, Victoria was right. The resource which you have created manually, the tag which you have added manually, will be deleted. Okay, what do you do in such cases? If you want to have this thing added, you have to go and add this manually inside your configuration. Your configuration should know that there is something like this. Your configuration should know that you have added some tags. Now you can just go and refresh your state file. So what will happen? This thing will be added inside your state file. This tags will be added over here after the Terraform refresh. What you do, refresh will basically refresh your state file with your desired state with your current state. This is the command which you can execute. Terraform refresh. Okay, it will go and refresh your current state and your desired state. This is how you handle configuration drift, because what will happen in reality I'm talking about, when you write the Terraform configuration, there's a great chance that your cloud administrator end up doing something. Okay, they should not be allowed, but they end up doing something, changes to your existing, add some policies, add some tags, add something like this. So in such cases you may have difficulty. This is the use case from live scenario I'm talking about. Now if I go and update the state file, you can see the tag added. If I run the plan again, there's no drift. There's no configuration drift now. Nothing to do. That is something which we will get. Okay. Now this is what the Terraform workflow is all about, guys. Make sure, remember this workflow. This is a definite question in an interview. the first question they will ask, what is the Terraform workflow? Okay. Last but not the least, this is the destroy. If you're creating any resources using Terraform configuration, you need to delete that resource using Terraform itself. Destroy the Terraform manage infrastructure. So whatever Terraform is managing, Terraform will just destroy that for you. Okay. So Terraform destroy will basically go and delete. Now after the plan, if you see no difference found, everything looks good. That is how you handle configuration drift in Terraform. Now Terraform destroy, basically it's a destroy everything for you. Whatever you have created using Terraform, it will look for the state file again. Whatever is there in your state file, it will do a quick comparison and it will go and destroy things for you. Okay, let's wait while the destroy is happening. Anyone, any questions?
I have a question. You're probably going to get to it at some stage, but the refresh. If what's the difference between refresh and import?
What is the difference between refresh and import? Import is when you want to import some execution plan from somewhere. Like import is basically used while doing the migration. Okay, so that's a different topic. Import is altogether a different topic. Refresh is basically refreshing your current state with an existing state. So your current state is what you have desired, you written in your configuration. Okay, sorry, that's your desired state, and current state is what is already the resources created. In between you have your state file. There is a configuration drift, like the way we have created a configuration drift by adding a tag manually. Okay, now there is a configuration drift. Now after running the plan, we got to know what exactly the configuration drift is. If I don't fix it, what will happen? The tag will be deleted automatically, correct? If I run the apply. Now in order to fix the configuration drift, what I did in my desired state, I went ahead and added those configuration that I need this tag also. Now I would have run the plan again, applied again, then nothing would have happened because there's no changes. The resource is already created manually. Now but I want to make sure that my state file is updated, because if my state file is not updated, what will happen? Every time I run the plan again, it will give me the configuration drift. So for doing that, I ran the command terraform refresh. Basically it went ahead and took the configuration, did a check with the current state, and updated my state file, because state file is the important file which is managing your resources. So terraform refresh has just refreshed my state file locally. That's it, nothing else. Okay, now if you see the destroy, the execution plan is destroy this time. What it is destroying, it is deleting all the resources for me. Again, it is prompting me yes, no, whatever. Okay, so if I say yes, what will happen? It will destroy the resources what we have created. It will go ahead and it will destroy the resources for me. Everything will be destroyed. My state file will be updated, and this thing will be destroyed from my cloud. Let's wait and watch. See, destroying, it started the destroy process. Now, while this is destroying, even your state file will get updated. I cannot use this state file because there's a destroy process already going in right now. Okay, that's a very interesting question from Victoria. How can you validate the manual changes before doing refresh? How can you validate the manual changes? When you run the plan, Victoria, it will give you the execution plan. In the execution plan, you'll come to know what are the manual changes, because it will show you clearly what is getting deleted right now. If it is manual, that means your configuration doesn't have that change. Your state file doesn't have that change. So when it does the comparison with the desired state and the current state, you get the execution plan. In the execution plan, it will clearly show that something is getting deleted, something is getting modified. Okay, so that way you'll come to know. So whatever is getting modified, if you want those changes to not to be deleted, you need to add that changes in the configuration file. Once you add that changes in the configuration file, you can do a refresh. And if you don't want that changes, go and run the command plan, apply, it will be removed automatically, whatever you did manually. Okay, makes sense? Now I think the destroy is done, completed. If I go and show you the state file, see the status of state file. Nothing is there inside the state file now because the resource is all deleted. Now if you see the backup file, the backup has the things. Okay, this is what state file is. Last topic, let me give you the provider information, how the provider is, provider flow. Then we'll wind up for today. Tomorrow we'll come back and we'll write everything, the configuration from scratch. Let me show you how exactly the configuration is written. Terraform provider, this is when we ran the command Terraform init, the provider plugin got downloaded. Let me give you the workflow, what exactly it did. Now, being a Terraform developer, we have written the configuration in our system, local system. Then when we executed the Terraform, okay, I'll answer that question, Prashant, later. Let me just give you the workflow. Okay, hope that helps. So when we ran the command Terraform init, what exactly has happened? It connected to a Terraform registry where all the providers are kept. Now, what exactly this registry is, something I'll show you tomorrow. Then from this registry, it went ahead. This is something in cloud. Okay, it went ahead, downloaded the provider plugin on your local system. This is what the .terraform folder was created. Okay, post that, we can, after this init, you can go and run the validate, format, all these commands, guys. Without provider, none of this command will work. Okay, then we have got this Terraform validate command. Then we have the Terraform plan command. Then we got the Terraform apply. Apply spelling mistake over here. I'll change it. Terraform plan and apply basically connects to Azure APIs. This is why Azure, because I've downloaded Azure provider. This provider will not work with AWS or Google. AWS, Google will have a different set of providers. Okay, this connects to Azure APIs. Azure APIs connects to Azure Resource Manager, ARM, Resource Manager. Then based on the request, okay, it creates a resource. The resource gets created, and when you run the command Terraform destroy, the same reciprocal effect, it will go and delete the resource for you. So all this Terraform provider is basically helping you to connect to Azure APIs. So this Terraform configuration is getting converted into an API call. Get, put, all those APIs call. And using Terraform Azure APIs, it is connecting to Resource Manager. The additional layer, if you remember ARM, everything happens in Azure Cloud using Resource Manager. Okay, hopefully you guys remember it. So this API call is sent to the Resource Manager. Resource Manager validates the source, and due to Azure CLI, AZ CLI, which login which we did, guys, using that credential, we are getting authenticated. Then the resources are getting created on cloud. Understand the flow. Okay, what provider is doing? Provider is helping you connect to Azure API. That is what provider is. Provider are main component of Terraform. Each resource in Azure VM, etc. is implemented by a provider. Without provider, nothing will happen. Providers are important component to manage your resources. Each provider has its own life cycle and gets version separately. So provider has its own version. Now, as of now, if you see, this is the version which we were using, 2.0 or greater. And this is the version which got downloaded, 3.52. So provider has its own life cycle. It keeps on updating. That's why we have this log file created, so that if there's a version drift, the configuration is not impacted because of that. That is the reason we have this log file. Terraform registry. So this registry, this thing maintains and store provider for each major minor cloud infrastructure providers. Okay, so this is Terraform providers for you. Okay, now I'll show you tomorrow. I'll give you a walkthrough of Terraform documentation, Terraform official website, Terraform registry. Then we'll go and write the configuration each and every line. We'll talk about what is top level block, what is Terraform block, what is a provider block, what is a resource block, and all this we'll talk about. We'll talk about how to write a configuration in tomorrow's session. Okay, today we have just seen the flow. We talked about Terraform providers and things like that. Okay, there was a question by Prashant. If we want to restore code from backup, then how we can do? Okay, very good question. Now, if you see the backup is created, you just need to go and do one thing. Rename this. Let me show you now. Delete this state file. Rename this. Now you have the state file now. This is deleted. You have the state file now. The state file has the information. You have the configuration. Now go and run the apply command again. So exactly whatever you had previously, that will be created again. It will give you the plan and it will go and create the resource exactly what you have in your state file. The same state will be achieved. Okay, Prashant, this will happen. Now what the next question is, will you show us how to create private Terraform registry to pull the provider form? Private, if you want to create, if you're writing registry you want to create. Registry, Victoria, that is out of course, because if you want to have your own registry created, we can do that locally. You can keep it locally, or you need to have a specific space. So it's not like Git or that you have multiple sources like Git repos, Git. So Terraform, all these providers are kept into specific registry into Terraform. But if you want to have your private registry, that is possible. You can log into Terraform registry and you can create your own registry over there. I hope you're not asking to host your own registry, correct?
So I think I'm asking to host. So if it's like I guess similar to how you were using the artifact space on
No, hosting, if you have local, like suppose once you have pulled the provider, you have that on your local right now. Now, if you want to keep it somewhere, like if you want to keep it in your Git or anywhere else, wherein you can host your own registry, you can do that. But yeah, even if you want to have a private registry like this created, you can create it on Terraform registry.io. You can log in and you can have your own private registry created over there. Both the ways are possible.
okay, thank
Because
you.
these are big files. Like if I go and show you this file, these are pretty big files. Okay, and plus the versions keeps on changing. So the big providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, they keep on updating things. So like today you're seeing 3.5.2. Tomorrow there's a great chance that it will be changed to 3.5.3. So they keep on updating. It's very frequently getting updated right now. So if you're managing it, you have to manage it completely by yourself. Okay. There's one more question. Would the restore the state file process be same? I'll talk about when we do the remote state. At that time, I'll talk about all this. For now, we are just talking about local state. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll talk about what is remote state, because it will add confusion if I talk today about this. Okay, guys, that's it. There were pretty much more information today, and tomorrow we'll take this further. Tomorrow I'll show you how exactly this configuration is written, and we'll go to the registry, actual documentation of registry, and show you from where exactly this provider gets downloaded. And I'll show you the official documentation of Azure, wherein how do you create this configuration from scratch. That is something we'll see tomorrow. Okay, if anyone has any question, last update, this is the resource got again created using the same state file. So if you go and see the resource group, you'll have the resource created again. Okay, Prashant, this is how you'll be restoring things. Okay guys, any question? I'll be sharing these notes, not this, sharing these notes, and I'll be sharing this configuration also, which I've written today, okay, with you guys for your practice. Make sure whatever flow we have practiced, just go through the workflow, Terraform workflow, and see if you're able to work through it or not, okay? And let me know if there's any difficulty. Okay guys, thank you very much. Let's meet up tomorrow and let's see things from scratch again. Bye bye.